In today's reading, we're going to find Jesus casting out demons into a herd of pigs. Why did he do that? Hello, I am Jeremy Disselkamp, preacher for the East End Church of Christ in Toronto, Canada, and this is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Matthew on walking through the Bible.
I'm not ashamed to hold my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
If you have a Bible with you, you can turn to Matthew chapter 8. We're going to be reading from verses 28 to 34. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Matthew chapter 8, beginning at verse 28. When he had come to the other side, to the country of the Gergesenes, there met him 2 demon-possessed men coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no one could pass that way. And suddenly they cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, Jesus, you Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now a good way off from there was a herd of many swine feeding. So the demons begged him, saying, If you cast us out, permit us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said to them, Go. So when they had come out, they went into the herd of swine. And suddenly the whole herd of swine ran violently down the steep place into the sea, and perished in the water. Then those who kept them fled, and they went away into the city and told everything, including what had happened to the demon-possessed men. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to depart from their region. In yesterday's episode, we had Jesus crossing the Sea of Galilee, miraculously calming the storm during their journey. They are now on the east side of the Sea of Galilee. In Matthew, he refers to this place as the country of the Gergesenes. In Mark's account, in Mark 5, verse 1, this place is referred to as the country of the Gadarenes. To some, this might appear to be a contradiction, but when you investigate further, it is not. Gadara was a city not far from the Sea of Galilee and was one of the 10 cities that were called Decapolis. Gergesa was a city about 19 kilometers or 12 miles southeast of Gadara. So what are Matthew and Mark saying? Jesus came into the region that these 2 cities are in. Along his journey, Jesus obviously was passing by a graveyard when 2 men who were possessed by demons approached him. Here is another supposed contradiction, for Mark 5 verse 2 and Luke 8:27 says there was one man. This contradiction can again be shown to be false by closely paying attention to what Mark and Luke said. Did Mark and Luke say that there was only one man? No, they both said that he was approached by one man, but they don't say it was only one man. Reading both of these accounts, we find that Mark and Luke focused on the man that was possessed by many demons known as Legion, while Matthew makes no mention of this fact. He simply says the men were exceedingly fierce. Thus it becomes evident to a fair-minded reader that of these 2 men, one was more notable than the other, a fact that Mark and Luke emphasize, while Matthew does not. If Mark and Luke had said that there was only one man who approached Jesus, then there would be a contradiction. But because Mark and Luke merely focus on one man, their omission that there was a second man is not a contradiction, but simply a difference in the way they told their accounts. These 2 demon-possessed men approached Jesus and cried out, What have we to do with you, Jesus, you Son of God? Jesus hadn't identified himself to these men, and yet the demons that possessed them not only recognized Jesus' human form, but they knew who Jesus was, the Son of God, God himself. James makes it clear in James 2:19 that the demons believe in Jesus and they shudder in his presence. But their lack of obedience is why they will be cast to hell. It's amazing to me that demons, wicked spiritual creatures, can confess that Jesus is God, yet there are those who profess to be Christians who deny this fact about Jesus. If demons who confess Jesus as God are bound for hell, what then can we discern about those who refuse to accept Jesus as God? Will their fate be any different? I think not. The demons then asked Jesus if he has come to torment them before the time. What did they mean? Well, in 2 Peter 2 verse 4 and Jude verse 6, we find that demons will be cast into hell on the day of judgment, along with the rest of the wicked. Hell will be a place of eternal torments, so it is quite probable that those demons were merely asking if Jesus was going to cast them to hell right then and there. They begged Jesus not to do so, but if he was going to cast them out, allow them to go into the herd of swine. Note again, the demons knew Jesus' power, and they knew that whatever Jesus said would happen. Why did they want to go into the swine? Well, we're not entirely sure, but perhaps they thought that anything was better than being cast to hell. A true sentiment. Jesus allowed this, but when the demons entered the swine, the pigs went mad and rushed into the sea and drowned. When the people of the city heard this, they came to Jesus and begged him to leave the region, which Matthew 9 verse 1 says that he did. Now you might ask yourself, why did Jesus allow the demons to possess the pigs? For in so doing, he cost the pig farmers a lot of money. However, the pig was unclean to the Jews, and Leviticus 11 verses 7 and 8 says they weren't even to touch it. So what were these people doing with pigs? In allowing the demons to possess the pigs, Jesus was solving two problems. One, it allowed the demon-possessed men to live normal lives, and two, it got rid of those things that the Jews were doing that God forbade. In this, Jesus did right. With that, our time is up for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so that you can study along with us daily as we walk through the Bible one verse at a time. We're going to be taking a 4-week break for the summer and return on Monday, August 27th, 2018. During that time, if you missed an episode, you can catch up with us by simply visiting one of the many platforms listed on the bottom of the screen. When we return on August 27th, the Lord willing, we will be continuing our study of the book of Matthew by examining Matthew 9 verses 1 to 8, where Jesus forgives and heals a paralyzed man. We'll hope you join us for that discussion. So until August 27th, goodbye for now, and have a great day.
I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to